With just 3 games remaining for the Hoos, they are clearly not playing their best basketball, and they will be facing a very tough test at Chapel Hill today. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Locker Room Access Pregame Show alongside Dougie Fresh Smith, Little Ski, T-Dubs, who made it back from Utah safely. Finally, I am Mark Jerome in my car in New York City. Dougie.
You're probably the safest one.
I don't know about that. Dougie, you weren't concerned before the last game.
Man, you were right. I was not concerned at all.
I don't need anybody to tell me I'm right or wrong.
I'm big with that, though. I pay attention.
But are you concerned now?
I'm concerned because Carolina's a very tough place to play. I think for the young guys that have never played there, with Ryan Dunn and Isaac Neely, even, I think it's definitely a different experience. And these guys have watched these teams their whole lives. There we go. We got some live from the court at the Dean Dome.
Dougie, let me rephrase the question.
Yep.
I'm not talking about just Carolina. Are you concerned about this team and how they're going to finish? Oh, we got a live look-in is that from Dave the Wave?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Live look-in Chapel Hill while the two teams are warming up.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be concerned. What you're concerned about is the energy of the team, the way people are moving, the lack of leadership on the court, and missing shots, right? There's no secret there. But concern? No, I think you figure it out.
Okay. I was in LA this week, and I was at the Lakers-Warriors game on Thursday, and I bumped into Kihei's dad. Well, I didn't bump into him. We texted each other, and he was there. And his seats were really good. Mine were solid. I was trying to convince him or encourage him or let him know, like, okay, dude, let me come up and where you're sitting. I think he was 2 or 3 rows back from courtside. I'm not quite sure who that is. Do we know who that is?
It's got to be the Wave's son. Looks just like him.
I would imagine, but I don't want to say it is if it isn't. So we were talking about it, Malik and I, and he wasn't sure what was going on. There he is. There's Big Dave. Good to see you, bro.
Let's go.
So he didn't even have an answer. He wasn't sure what was going on with the team. He did say defense, and then I said, well, we had our lowest scoring point total of the season, 48, against a team that's not the top of the class. So he couldn't figure it out. He didn't have an answer. T-Dubs, thoughts? You've been saying you've been concerned for a little while now.
Yeah, I think this. I mean, there's a lot of talk of the team's not quite motivated. It's they're playing to their level of competition. I've heard that a lot. So we'll see today, right? If they're gonna get up for a big game and show up, or are they gonna continue this downward trend that we're seeing? So I think we'll get some answers today, I think, in terms of I hear like, oh, so-and-so's hurt and this and that, but like everybody's a little dinged up this time of year. Like how are we going to show up? Who's going to respond? How are we going to, kick in for the rest of the year? This will be an interesting game.
Speaking of being hurt, there's a report Gardner may have injured his calf at the end of the BC game. Right.
It's definitely a concern, I've been told.
You saw him, Dougie, at the end of the game. Is that what you said?
I did not see him, but somebody was at practice. I guess it was yesterday, the day before, and they said to me it was definitely a concern, the calf.
Yep.
So, Jan,
go ahead.
Now, that being said, I didn't watch the BC game for the record. I couldn't find it, but I did watch the condensed highlights, and I have a big opinion on that.
Little Ski, let's stick with the live looking for a little while. If you're controlling that, please.
Yep.
And do anybody see Gardner?
Oh, good idea. I can't tell.
We'll text Dave and see what he says.
I don't see him.
I can't tell who I see. I see some blue. I see some light blue.
See some Carolina blue for sure. See those Carolina refs getting ready.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, Marky, what I did see in the BC game, and it was condensed highlights, right? So they're highlights. Their guards went after our guards, and very successfully in the condensed highlights. I didn't see the full thing, and they did so very successfully. And our guards, in my opinion, didn't look overly concerned about getting beat or being beaten or guy getting past them and making the pass for the layup. They didn't seem to, take it upon themselves to make the stop. That's concerning.
We were in a text chain with Jay Willie, and he basically said, "We need help. Somebody's got to come in here and teach us how to shoot." Right?
That was for you.
Little Ski watched the whole game the other day. What did you see about the offense being anemic? What did you think of the shot selection? What did you think of the aggressiveness?
I think that just overall there was I got to watch the first half fully through, and then second half I was kind of half watching it, because I had some work that I was working on, but it was towards the end of the game I just had to turn it off. The shot selection was terrible, and even the good shots we were taking, as much as we weren't falling, and it just wasn't a great performance. I said in our group chat, but in the last few games, we've looked like a good team who hasn't been playing well. In that game, we just looked like a bad team.
T-Dubs, can you remember a time with a good deal of talent, a team only scoring 48 points at UVA?
I mean, in the TB era, it happened quite a bit. I would say, like teams, we concentrate on D, and then we lose a little bit of focus when that's not going so well. So I wouldn't say it's out of the question. I would say, maybe London's last year we had a bunch of these games that were like, who's going to score, who's going to step up, who's going to do their thing. I would say maybe that was an era or a time. Maybe Mike Scott's last year as well, when he didn't have it going. We had a little bit of that, but I don't think it's out of the question. It's March. March is right around the corner. Like it's 100% concerning to see us looking like this at the end of February. It's not where we want to be, but I can't say it's unfamiliar.
Well, that last year of London, 2016 year, we lost. What's his name? What's his name? Who was basically kicked off the team?
Oh, Austin Nichols. Yeah.
Austin Nichols, right?
Right.
So the team became so different.
Yeah.
100%. And you had, some of the first years were looking to be relied on, like Kyle, right, for scoring, and you just didn't have that scoring punch like you had the year before, and then what was expected from Austin. So the talent, I'm not sure there was that, based on the level of competition, I'm not sure the talent was that great for us. This year, when you look at it across the board, when you look at our team, when you look at the Hoos versus the competition, I think we're just as talented, if not more talented than anybody else. So how do you explain lack of offense? I mean, of course, yes, we have to hit shots, but I mean, there's got to be more than that. Not how often are we touching the paint? How often are we getting interior points? And we're just not shooting effectively either. What do you have for that?
I'd say it's I don't want to say style of play, but it's concerning for sure, right? We've had these little, as Jim says, the past few years we've gotten into these like slumps, and I'm not sure what the cause is. Honestly, I know, defense is our calling card, so maybe there's a lack of preparation on the I have no idea. It just seems like a lack.
I think sometimes too, you see guys, they're unsure, they don't want to take over, they're looking for somebody to take over. So Reese looks at Kie looks at Reese, they look at Armand, they look at Jaden.
Right.
Who else? BVP did a 3. You get that where I feel like in the early part of the season, I hate going back to this, but that's when we had a lot of fun.
Right.
You just saw Reese take over, right?
Yep.
We saw it multiple times when he was fully healthy. I don't know if he is not now, But when you got guys, Kihei does his thing when he needs to, couple 3 quick shots or quick moves or hits a 3 when he has to. But it looks like a lot of looking around to me, like who's going to be the man, and nobody decides to be the man.
Yeah, when you have to look around, that means it's a problem, right? Like,
Yep.
you can't be the man by committee. We'd love that to be the case, but like somebody's got to decide to lead the charge. And you're right. In the early season, it was Reese. What happened since then, I have no idea. But it seems like maybe he's got some lingering injury, or he's maybe deferring a little bit. I'm not sure what the cause is, but I'm hoping when the big lights come on, Reese goes back to, all right, this is my time to shine. I got to step up, and the guys, play up to their potential. But we'll see, man. It's not easy.
And we've seen bursts of Reese in between, right? Where a couple times we're like, oh shit, he's back, because he went up and dunked and sprinted back fast on defense. But BC didn't look that way. He looked like he was in a fog.
Yeah.
What about what's concerning about Carolina to you guys? I have my opinions. Does anybody know about Carolina? Luke May will not be walking in the gym, but
no Luke May.
Bo May, he's got to be his brother. Beau. Bo May, Maye, is on the team. I think a walk on.
Out. Baycott is going to be really interesting for us because he got hurt at the beginning of the last game. How are we going to respond to Baycott? What's he going to do for our bigs? Like, we've talked about Poppy playing aggressive, defending, and then how's Caden going to respond if JG is out? That's going to be really interesting. How are we going to respond to Baycott and what he does, and then obviously Caleb. He's streaky, but he got the hot at the end of our last game. If he does that again, we might be in a little bit of trouble. I don't want us to go down big early because I'm concerned we won't be able to fight our way back in this atmosphere. So I'm keen on how we start this game. Like I hope we come out strong.
Yeah, you got to send them. I think Carolina's going to come down, and although RJ Davis and Love don't share the ball with a lot of people, they might share some things between each other. I've heard,
right,
possibly more than the basketball. But I think I think Hubert's going to say, let's go inside, whether it's Nance, Baycott, especially Baycott. And what we're going to have to do, whoever it is, it might be Caden. Actually, it might be Caden today. It might be Poppy, even, in my opinion, to start. You got to hold your ground. And if you got to take a foul or two, who cares? You can't let him get 3 quick, easy ones and get the Carolina, everything going against you downhill. So you caught that, TW, right? The RJ Davis and Caleb Love.
I saw that. They both laughed it off, but it seems like there is something there, right? The fact that you have to address like a rumor is probably, not good, I would say.
Yes, and but what I saw against BC with our guards, I think Caleb Love and RJ Davis are going to test Kihei specifically. I think whoever matched up with Kihei will go after him.
Well, looks like we lost.
Yep, might have lost Fresh there. Everyone's dropping like flies. Yeah, I think that just in general, this is a very much a tone-setting game for how the rest of the season is going to go. I think that if we show a performance that was a lot like we've had the last 3 games, I'm not confident that we're going to do anything in the postseason, like let alone get it past the first game of either the ACC or NCAA tournament. But if we could bounce back and show some resilience here and show that we mean business, I think that could be a great sign for us going into the rest of.
So Miami was up by 25, and there's now down 1 to FSU. That's interesting. We'll keep in mind that. I think it's under 5 to play there. Appreciate the updates from Hunter and Jim. That's a big one. Back to us. I'm not I was already worried earlier. Like even after the Duke game, I was like, "Ooh, I'm not I didn't love that way we finished that game." I know I get it, we won, but this is I don't want to say repeating history here, but come March we banged up and We definitely have been prone to getting upset in the tournament, so like temper expectations always as a UVA fan. But I hope we can turn it around.
Well, you don't want, like, I feel like, in my opinion, I don't think it's necessarily a good thing to be riding a win streak into March. I mean, if you look at what happened in 2018, I mean, we went all the way through the AC tournament, ran the table there, and then we're feeling very confident going into our first game, and we all know how that turned out.
Yeah.
But then the next year we lose in the ACC tournament, um, and obviously we have the idea from last year that we can't take it for granted, but also you don't have that same confidence going in. So I think that if we could bounce back, that loss this past week would have been will be a very good thing for us.
Yeah, there's a difference between chip on your shoulder and then just having a little confidence coming in, right? Like you need
Yep.
you need some signs of momentum and then a chip on your shoulder, and then that seems like a better recipe than 3-game losing streak getting in, like all time confidence low going into the tournament. That's not the look we want either. So I'm hoping we catch a little.
You want to be playing well, right? That's the whole point. You just don't want to be like, what in the world happened the last 3 games? What I don't know. I mean, we lost one of them, right? DC's the first game we've lost in forever.
Right.
But you didn't necessarily play well. Things weren't working. Eked out against quote unquote bad teams. We eked out tough losses, but we still won. So it's one loss. If one loss implodes the entire mentality, then we got bigger issues for sure.
Yeah, that's very true.
Sometimes you escape, man. You escape. ACC.
Jim's gonna say, go out on a limb and say we bounce back tonight. Fingers crossed.
I'm with you, Jim.
I don't know. Like I don't have a feeling either way. I think we'll see early how we bounce back. I think we'll get an early indicator here in the first 5-10 minutes of this game. We'll know.
Spence, we have the starting lineup yet or no? You're always the breaking news there.
Yeah, let me check. I haven't seen it come through yet, but
10 till.
WFS Who says we need to play free. The BC loss could be a blessing.
We also could be stuck.
Can we ask WFS Who his opinion
okay, so we got
on Carolina?
We got Gardner. Gardner is starting.
Okay.
So we're starting with the same 5 we have been.
But we could just suck. No, we do have to play free, but that's what I was saying. That was my point about who's going to take over, who's going to be the man. You can't look at each other and like everybody play free. Don't look at each other for who's going to get this thing started. I think the whole squad, whoever's on the court, has to go. I mean, let's be honest. Carolina has been atrocious this year. They've probably played – I saw them play really well one time offensively, which was against Wake Forest, but they were horrible on defense. Now,
Right.
Wake, that game, packed a real punch. So, we got to be able to pack a punch offensively, so to speak. And Wake did. But when I've seen them play just awful, North Carolina. So I think we're going to get a little bit better versions of themselves in other games that we've seen and remembered. But who knows?
Should be a good one. I'm excited to see how the guys respond. Right, like this is their first real bad loss. Right, this is their first time to have a bounce back game. How do we respond? It'll be really fun to see how these guys do it.
That was a bad loss. Good point. I think what's the wild cards are Leaky Black's always kind of a wild card for Carolina. Like he had a big game that game against Wake. He had 16 in the first half. That's probably a Ryan Dunn type matchup. Who do we start on him?
Right.
The matchups are going to be very interesting. I guess Kihei on RJ Davis. I think Reese and Caleb, the two sharers, are actually buddies growing up or AAU circuit or something. Armand's got to check who? Oh, Armand's got to check Leaky then. Right?
Caleb?
And then you have Nance. And then you have Nance and
last time, right? Who was on Caleb? I guess it was
I think we're going to see a lot of Isaac tonight because of that, because of rotations and stuff, and depending on how they play. But then you got, you have Nance is a giant, and Baycott's a giant, right? And we're not big up front. That's the biggest question on Virginia fans is how effective is playing Gardner and BVP. all the time together. So much time together.
We need
Anytime
BVP.
together.
We need BVP to get hot here. I feel like
Yeah.
he's been feast or famine. We need to see the Michigan version of BVP, like posting up, going strong to the basket. But he seems to be I don't know, hitting it. I don't know if it's a slump, but he's just not shooting free throws. Like, it seems like, I don't know if it's in his head or if he's hurt or what, but I'm hoping.
I watch him shoot, and the shots he misses, I think, in my opinion, he's not taking the right ones. He's taking them quick. The shots he makes, even if he's guarded, he's turned, he's squared up, he takes his time and he goes. When he just quickly lets it fly, you see a lot of side of the backboard and shit.
Armand does seem a little more consistent, though. I like what I've seen from him. Like, he seems to less of the 1 for 12 shooting nights. He's been
Right.
a lot better. So let's hope that continues.
And he's mixed it up a little with some drives and stuff, right? Armand, I think his overall game has expanded. And he's not just I'm gonna be a 3-point specialist for the University of Virginia. So
right, his defense is better. He's getting rebounds. I've been impressed with him. Like, you hear way less complaints. Last year it was like, Armand, get him out of the game, to all that.
Yeah.
None of that this year. He's been really showing out. I'm happy to see that from him. He needed that update to his game. Confidence booster.
Yeah, this is the glass. I'm sitting here thinking about it. The more I think about it, is their length and our defensive rebounding, keeping them off the offensive glass is probably the big tone setter, because they're going to miss shots. And they're going to miss some shots wild.
Question for you, Fresh. Going in as a first time going into Dean Dome, you see, all the banners and the baby blue and all that madness. What effect did that have on you, if any? Did you walk in there and think, oh, this is why I came here, or was there fear? Was there?
No, that's why I came here. But I grew up. My mentor Ray Fraley's at the game right now. Raymond Fraley and his son Gus, they're there. But he was a huge Carolina fan. So I watched tons of Carolina growing up. Kenny Smith, Michael Jordan, on and on and on, right? Jeff Lebo was an assistant coach. When I got there, I was ready to play, and it feels good. It's a great arena. It's not intimidating. It's big, but it's not like they're down there screaming at you too much, or it's not intimidating. So the ball bounces nice. You think you can jump. The urban legend is you can jump 4 inches higher on their court because they have springs in it. That's probably just their athletes. But all the stuff felt good, so no, I was ready to play. I had really good games in the Dean Dome, man. So it was exciting for me. I think, Isaac and Ryan are going to be excited. You got to excited is one thing, but being able to get that ready, to bring it in a little bit, harness it, and be effective is another thing.
Now, because I feel like UNC is up for, they're ready for us. Right, they're probably circle us on their calendar. They want this game in the Dean Dome, and then us going in there. We're not sneaking up on UNC anymore. So I wondered what effect that has on the game.
What's the record though, TW? They beat us twice last year. Obviously, before that it was like 1 out of 7, right?
Yeah,
so that's like they're 3 of the last 10 or something.
Yeah, I think the win prior to that was in the ACC finals in 2014, I want to say. So we've had their number for a while. I think we had like 6 or 7 in a row. TB has done well against Roy Williams. I think a lot of that is the way they play, and they just play their style. So they don't really scout and do all of that. So I think that plays a little bit into our advantage. But we'll see. Hubert's a different coach, so. Have you noticed anything different from his coaching style to Roy Williams?
I've noticed nothing different at all. No.
Seems like
I think Hubert's a lot more animated on the sideline, like he's in a stance, like he's trying to get him to play defense and things like that. Where I think Roy was probably the master, like in the huddle, getting things, changing things, and maybe changing schemes and going to zones and things like that. That's another thing. Are we going to see a zone tonight at times? I don't know. I guess it depends on their foul situation and how we respond on offense.
Thank you, Daniel. We won 8 of our last 10 from Daniel.
8 of 10?
Wow. 8 of the last 10.
I think Daniel did some smooth math there, but it was 1 and 7 before that, I think, right? 8 of 10. All right.
That's great.
The last 2 were last year, so we had an 8-game winning streak. That's amazing.
No, that is amazing. Holy cow.
Yeah, think about it, right? From you growing up and to now, like Carolina just owning them.
Yeah, UNC was the one we hated as a kid with Dean Smith and Four Corners. Like, that was the real nemesis, and more so than Duke. So
Yeah, I think UNC hits different, man. I think it's got a much longer memory. I think the Duke memory is shorter and more current, so that's why the younger dudes are kind of like Duke haters, and the older guys hate UNC.
Yeah, I think that's right. Carolina was, that in that era, they were just. I mean, a lot of it was probably Dean Smith and the talent that he brought in, but man, it was.
And I think, back then we didn't have Who's Got Next. He was probably 2 years old, but the recruiting wars back then were real.
Yeah, J.R.
And so
Reed.
J.R. Reed, Virginia Beach boy, and then supposedly Virginia Beach guy. And, think people talking about Michael Jordan after the fact. And I can name Kenny Harris out of Richmond went down there, and all these guys. So it's different.
Miami is up by 1 with 30 seconds left right now.
Oh, wow.
Are they playing?
Florida State.
Florida State.
Oh, boy. That's a nice rivalry, too. We got to do predictions, TW. You want to get it started, or how do you want to do it?
Yeah, full game. We'll do a full game prediction.
Let's just do full game. I think
Full game.
I get mixed up.
Full game. Man, this is tough. I never pick us to lose. So I'm going to say we eke one out here, 62-61.
Oh boy, I'm going to be way off.
Wahoo. So yeah, fingers crossed. I think it'll be a really close game. What about you?
What's the points over under? Does anybody know? I'm not basing it off of that. I have my number.
132 is the over under.
I'm going to say, watch this, 83-75, one overtime. We're going to come back. They're going to have foul trouble. We'll tie it. Then we're going to blow
Fresh
the doors
one's
in
the
overtime.
over.
Fresh.
I think it'll be,
I don't want anything.
I think the line is what, 4.5?
4.5 UNC.
Their
yes.
way. Yep.
FSU just hit a great shot. They're up to 1 right now with about 12 seconds left.
Oh boy,
Wow.
Take it home. Take us home with that one.
I'm picking the Hoos, of course. I think that we're gonna go up 66-65.
That's it. The game, the regulation over. 66.
Regulation. Yep.
All right. I'm way up there, huh?
What is that? The under? No, that's the under. I think the under. All right, we'll hop on. Okay, so now Miami just hit a 3, a wide open 3. They're up 2.
What?
2 seconds left. FSU last shot.
No.
Oh, he hit it. Oh my
No, he
God.
didn't. You're kidding.
Yes. FSU at the buzzer.
So we're in first place right now.
I think we're a half
Like a
game behind Pitt.
5-way tie. But we
I
lost.
think we're a half game behind Pitt right now. That is
Oh my
wild.
gosh.
So that
This
was
is
basket.
Yep. What a
Jeez.
shot.
You saw it here live with Spencer Hensky, a.k.a. Spensky, a.k.a. hashtag Luke May.
So George Anderson with the great call out is the same guy that hit the shot on us last year.
Oh, nice, George. Great call.
And just about the same spot too.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
really? That was a
Opposite
ridiculous
side.
shot against us. Maybe
Yeah,
he's good
it
at
was,
it.
it was a little bit on the other side of the court, but it was a little bit in. But
What's
great
that
shot.
saying, George? Fool me
Oh,
once,
all right, now we got a little more to play with. So
yeah,
fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. No, fool me once, shame on
that
me.
was wild. Yeah, everyone go check that out on Twitter right now. Yeah, Miami
That's
hit a
awesome.
wide open 3.
I can't believe it was
Oh,
wide
wow.
open.
And with 5 seconds left, they hit the shot. Then FSU brought it down the court, and that was a great shot.
all right,
still
let's go. All right, I'm gonna go watch it.
All right,
Back at half.
You can't, Spence. Can you stream it here or not? We're still live.
yeah. I mean, yeah. All right.
See if you can do
see you
that.
guys at halftime. Go Hoos.
Go Hoos.